Hey everybody, welcome back to Colony Drop, your favorite Gundam podcast. My name is Isaac.
My name is Brian, and this is a podcast where we talk about anything and everything related to the Mobile Suit Gundam franchise. From the anime, to the movies, to the music, to the clothes, to the food. Isaac, you name it. We do it all, even new announced anime and video game series.
Ooh, wow. It's a double whammy today, Brian, isn't it? It's just both hands on the steering wheel, white knuckling it in the world of Gundam.
That's right. We were wondering when we were going to get some new Gundam stuff, you know? I mean, GQuarx came and went. It was pretty quick, and we've had the Hathaway movies, but the Hathaway movies don't get a whole lot of coverage over here, at least in America. So it was feeling a little empty on the what's next, stuff for Gundam, Isaac. So, and I guess we finally know now, don't we?
Yeah, it turned out there was a big reveal, Brian, a 2-for-1. One's going to be an anime series, which we're always excited about. And then the other one's a video game, which is a bit of a unicorn in the world of Gundam, because we don't get that many, at least here on this side of the Pacific Ocean, we don't get that many Gundam games, do we, Brian?
Yeah, and especially ones that look pretty polished, or have a whole lot, like a big localization effort behind them. So yeah, so let's go over the timeline, Isaac, and then Isaac has a lot of thoughts for you listeners on on these two offerings from Bandai. So first, Isaac, let's rewind the clock a little bit, because we saw this game get announced. The game is called Mobile Suit Gundam Rogue Orbit. It was announced on June 5th, 2026, about a month and a half ago-ish from when we're recording this. It's a new Gundam video game. It was revealed at something called Summer Games Fest. At the time, we just knew that it was set in a new timeline. I don't think they had named the new timeline at the time of announcement. They just said this is not in a pre-existing timeline. This is something new, which at the time was like groundbreaking. They've never, to my knowledge, revealed a new Gundam timeline in a video game. So already we were like, oh, that's kind of strange.
Yeah.
But it's a new action game in the vein of Armored Core that, from my understanding, was meant to look and feel like an action game where you are truly controlling the mobile suit movements. Like, they really want you to know it's an action game, and they really want you to feel like you are the pilot. Like, it is your experience, Isaac.
True, yeah.
In terms of what it's about, the logline is basically, in Gundam Rogue Orbit, players will suit up as Ace Pilot Rex, written as capital RE-X. The protagonist in this new chapter for Gundam step into the cockpit of Gundam Helix, Rex's high mobility suit, so he, along with a ragtag crew of unsung soldiers, say that 10 times fast, can fight to be humanity's last hope for survival against this unknown enemy. And then they had a trailer where, the new Gundam Helix came to not the rescue. I guess the other suit kind of died. I'll call it a gym. It got like creamed by this cybernetic dragon looking thing. And then he kind of cut its head off and stuff.
It's a Dragon Zoid.
Kind of, with some, sparkles.
Dragon
right?
Zoid.
Yeah. And so at the time, that was all we had. And Isaac and I saw it. We didn't really record an episode about it because we were kind of prepping for Anime Expo. I don't know. It seemed neat to me. It didn't really seem necessarily... It seemed like they just took Armored Core, plopped the Gundam brand on it, and were like, let's make a Gundam Armored Core game. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think you and I would probably play it. But, I wasn't like jumping to the moon about it. What was your first reaction a month ago versus today?
A month ago, much like you, I would kind of refine my thoughts and say it very much came off as... Forgive me for saying this. I hope no one gets too upset. Uninspired. And by that, I mean, it was literally, it looked like a mod of an Armored Core game. You have like the horde of, mooks that you fight. Of course, they got red eyes. And then you got your own suit itself. And even the stylization, the design of this Gundam, it's clearly taken influence from Armored Core, I feel. It looks very different than Gundams. I would not call this out as a Gundam in a lineup, color-wise especially. We don't have our iconic blue and white and yellow and red. Instead, it's a much more kind of a, I guess, almost militant, monotone type color, kind of a gray, which is fine, I guess. But I'm kind of curious to how this will be. I'm still excited for the game, but visually, it's I'd be very surprised if it turns out that, we didn't look at Armored Core at all. I'd take any claims like that with a pinch of salt.
Sure. They do sell your blue and red and white one, Isaac. I think that's going to be like some sort of special edition version of it that you can get. Yeah. I'm sure they will
pre-order.
Probably feature that in the game later on at some point, but it's also going to be a special edition model kit. I believe they said they would sell it with the collector's edition. I wasn't clear if that was the actual model or just like a skin in the game, but I'm sure you'll get some paint somewhere along the way in the game.
Sure. The upgrade.
I think the name Gundam Helix is pretty cool. That's a cool name.
Yeah. I wonder how much this will tie into the lore of, this is a life form and it kind of grows.
Sure.
And I assume at a certain point forms giant mono-eyed mobile suits that decide to attack. So
I like it. Leaves room for an upgrade, a mid-season upgrade in the game called the Double Helix. I mean, come on, that's
up.
We got a lot of doubles, double X, double Zeta.
Brian, you're making Sunset earn our money.
Spoilers, everybody. So I think the design itself is a great name. It's too busy for me though, Isaac. I feel like it's the Gundam EX from Requiem for Vengeance, but in the wrong direction for me. I saw someone describe it as overly greebled or peak greebling or greebling overload, and that's kind of how I feel about it. There's just all this stuff all over it. It was like any flat part, they were like, no, can't be flat. Put some stuff on there.
Make it bumpy metal. Make it quasi-organic. We need that bio-organic look. I want people to look at it and they know it's bio-organic.
Yeah, to me, this is the Super Shredder version of the Gundam EX from Requiem for Vengeance, made for American audiences who like action games, specifically Gears of War. The game looks fun. I mean, I'll certainly play the game. I'm just not a huge fan of the Gundam Helix itself, but it's a cool name. I'm sure there are a lot of fans out there. So that was kind of all we had, Isaac, and I think we were kind of just waiting for the game. It's supposed to come out in 2027, so it's going to be a minute, but I don't think there's a specific date in 2027, just sometime in 2027, which is pretty common with video game announcements. And then this is now Saturday, July 25th when we're recording this. 2 days ago, July 23rd at Comic-Con and on YouTube, there was a reveal of a new anime series called Mobile Suit Gundam RG XARX-ZERO. It's written RG XARX-ZERO. For reasons I'll get into later, the narrator and everybody online who knows Japanese, a lot of them are saying it's pronounced Alex. So we'll go into that in a minute. But so RG XARX-ZERO is the name of the new show. It's set in the same universe as Rogue Orbit, only 90 years earlier. And they revealed that the timeline is called After Apocalypse. And so XARX-ZERO takes place in After Apocalypse 45 and serves as the beginning of this new project. They're calling it the RG project, this anime plus Rogue Orbit plus anything else they decide to add into this ecosystem here. Whereas Rogue Orbit is going to take place 90 years later in After Apocalypse 135. And together they are part of this project, the RG project, which Bandai describes as a new project that uses both anime, video game, and various media to depict the same world. This new show is going to be directed by Kenji Kamiyama, who directed Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex as well as The Ninth Jedi. Great director. Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, that was a huge hit back in our heyday of anime, so that's cool.
Incredible show. Great.
Not who I would have expected to direct a Gundam show, but I mean, I would certainly take that.
No. Yeah.
Designs are by Aichi Shimizu. I don't know how to say his name. Sorry. Created the Ultraman 2011 manga and the Ultraman 2019 anime series. If you look at the Ultraman designs from his manga and the Ultraman anime, and then you look at the Gundam Zero here, that makes sense. It looks very similar. I see. So we'll get into that. And so the logline on this show, Isaac, is the 3 revelations delivered by the autonomous interstellar object from another galaxy ushered in an age of unprecedented prosperity, allowing humanity to expand across the entire solar system. They gained gravity control, FTL communication, and cognitive materialization, whatever that is. Yet less than 10 years after its discovery, Isaac, the object that had delivered these 3 revelations suddenly ran rampant, spawning an aggressive, self-proliferating ecosystem. Humanity came to see this unknown ecosystem as the apocalypse. For 3 months, humanity fought the apocalypse to a standstill in orbit above Earth. Forced to abandon the planet, humanity marked that year as AA1, the first year after apocalypse. By after apocalypse 45, children born on the moon and in space colonies have never known life without the apocalypse. And on the lunar surface, a boy named Ray Azumi awakens. And he is the one who pilots the titular Gundam Zero. So,
Wow.
I have a lot of thoughts, Isaac.
Yeah.
The teaser was pretty cool. It's always just fun to see a new Gundam anime series. I don't know about you, because I
Sure.
don't know if it's good or bad yet, right? We haven't seen it. So it's always fun to just know that they're still making Gundam. That's always good. What was your first thing you saw when you were like, oh, there are something that could be construed as aliens here, Isaac?
Yeah, my first thought was I thought the ELSs, Ryan.
Yep.
And there's a bit of a similarity, at least for now,
Sure.
from what I'm gathering. There's sort of a self-replicating kind of a situation. This artificial life form clearly grows.
Yes.
Based on some of the early footage in the trailer that we saw, it does seem to be like this crystalline structure that grows on buildings and stuff. How it goes evil, I'm not sure how they're going to kind of show that. There clearly is a Char character. I'm not sure if this is going to be a case of humanity's divided and this external threat shows up to unite humanity. So there might be quasi-Zeon versus quasi-Federation, and this element of alien life form shows up and brings them together to fight. Or it could be a case of, I don't know, it turns out that really behind this alien life form are humans.
Yeah.
Which is possible. But man, I'm all aboard for this multimedia approach to exploring this new universe with like manga, I assume. I'd be surprised if they don't.
Oh, come on. We always get like 10 mangas per series, so.
They better. And then anime, and then who knows, maybe there'll be a movie and then the game. So I think it's going to be awesome. I'm still kind of puzzled. They're going for the alien angle. I don't know how Double O did in Japan, but I'm kind of not a fan of aliens being in Gundam. The strength of Gundam has been that we don't need an external, evil force or powerful alien force of something, because instead we have humans. Humans are the ultimate kind of evil for other humans, and it just lends so much more dramatic range, I think, to have people fighting other people, our hopes and stuff like that, being internal to humans, things that we want, just the internal competition among humans. So having aliens be the stand-in, I felt was kind of, I don't know, it's new territory for Gundam.
Sure. I have a lot of thoughts on the aliens, as well as what you said about the ELSs. I think anytime we see aliens, or perceived aliens at least, in Gundam, the immediate thought is Gundam 00, right? Because that's probably the biggest one that people think of. And there are a lot of 00 fans out there. I mean, I'd say maybe a third of the people that we interviewed at Anime Expo a few weeks back, they wanted 00 questions, right?
Right, yeah.
Maybe a fourth, probably fair. So it's popular. These aliens, to me, I agree with you. I first thought of the ELSs, but they feel a little different. The ELSs felt very overpowered and like sort of non-interactable. Like you knew they were always going to win based on their numbers and just how they interacted. Yeah. These aliens, they are what I would call the smashing type ones, Isaac, where you, in order to, beat them, you can just smash them, which is closer to like Gundam 8, that manga that we started, which I also think is weird, right? There's this whole other story that's kind of has aliens in it in Gundam 8, and then you're starting a whole other one over here. So that's kind of strange. Definitely probably going to overshadow Gundam 8 a little bit. Before I get into the actual aliens or perceived aliens, if they said, Isaac, make me a new Gundam show, not attached to anything else, and I want it to be easy to understand for new people. I want new fans. I don't necessarily want just the Gundam fans to watch. Do you think Smash Alien Bad Guy is just easier to understand for people than like a war plot, and that's why they went this way?
I think so in a way, but it also has a risk of being too easy.
Sure.
Like some of the earliest video games where you're in a ship fighting aliens. Or these representations of aliens on like the earliest video game consoles.
Right.
So instead of doing humans, which I mean, some of the greatest, most interesting stories are almost absent of aliens, and they're mostly human versus humans. Star Wars, yes, I know there's a bunch of aliens in Star Wars, but the stormtroopers are human.
Sure.
The Sith are human. It's human versus human, really, versus the rebels and, the Jedi and all that. Much in the same way, Dune's really big right now. Guess what? It's all humans.
Yes.
So I think by doing the human dynamic, you get so much more nuance and a little much more complexity, which I think a lot of people like. Game of Thrones, all humans.
Yeah.
There's no orcs. There's no elves. It's just all humans versus humans.
Right.
So to answer your question, this could be a great game, but I think it's a bit more simplistic approach if we're going to be fighting, monster aliens that have really no scenes where they're kind of discussing things internally.
Sure.
Because they're kind of just, human colony smash.
Yeah. To your point, are they the talking kind of aliens, or are they just sort of monster aliens that are unintelligible.
I'd be surprised if they're intelligent because we saw a Dragon Zoid, Scorpion Zoid, Spider Zoid, Crab Zoid, Lizard Zoid, Snake Zoid. It looks like whoever's behind this kind of like flipped through like a National Geographic magazine or something and was like, oh, we need to find the most, all the vicious killers in the animal kingdom.
Interesting. Okay.
Not just the spider, kind of curious. I mean, they are reclaiming Earth. Remember, they mentioned that in the trailer.
Sure.
And all these creatures vaguely seem to be based off some Earth animal.
Yeah. So let's get into that. So I have a lot of thoughts on these perceived aliens. And I guess my first question was, are these really aliens? Do you think they're really aliens? So they're very careful here. I don't think any of the press releases or anything, I don't think any of them call them aliens. Rogue Orbit calls it an unknown threat. And the Rogue Orbit baddie looks like a cybernetic dragon rather than organic. The Gundam Helix cuts the one open at the end. And I don't think it's like blood that comes out. It's, I don't know, energy particles or something.
Energon.
Yeah, energon cubes. And then the Alex Zero stuff refers to the apocalypse as a self-proliferating silicon-based life form or a self-proliferating ecosystem. So to me, that kind of sounds more like a science project reset switch for a civilization gone wrong, rather than like aliens and what we think of them as. I don't know. Because what are your thoughts? We haven't seen this before, but Gundam has dabbled in these things differently, right? We had the ELSs. We did the whole episode on aliens. So if you want to hear about aliens in Gundam and you haven't listened to our alien episode, you should go listen to it. It was a fun one. There was the ELSs. There was the Vegan fake out.
Right, yeah.
The space whale stuff. And now we have the stuff in Gundam 8. So I don't know. That's a good observation that a lot of the stuff seems to be based on gross insects or ferocious beasts from the human perspective. So I could see like you said, it could be humans all along to some degree.
Yeah, I'm trying to piece together like the little clues we've all been thrown. The brief image of the Shar, which of course implies that there's some bad organization. What exactly they're doing? Are they part of the humans, just in kind of like a coalition against this new threat? Who knows? Maybe that's how the colonies just all dress.
They just have a real sense of fashion.
Yeah. Is the main character Ray Azumi, I think is his name, which is very Amuro Ray, of course. Yeah. Is he going to be part of the Federation or what? I mean, what does the Federation control? They're not supposed to be on Earth.
Which, by the way, I love. Isaac's probably the only one that saw that trailer and then is like, hey, so is Ray part of the Federation? Like, where is the Federation in all this? I like that you still think there is a Federation.
Hear me out. The Federation, Brian, has survived colony drop after colony drop, asteroid impact after asteroid impact, and it's still standing. So for this alien life form that apparently self-replicates to just show up and like boot the Federation off Earth to, I assume, Luna, which would be their next stronghold, is quite shocking.
Yeah. The logline does say that he, I think, is born on the moon, or he's on the moon. Whether he's born there or not, I don't know. But it says on the lunar surface, a boy named Ray Azumi awakens. There you go. So it does, to your point, it does seem like they've been kicked off to the colonies and to the moon, which is interesting because from my perspective, I think we covered this in the alien episode. If we didn't, maybe I cut it out. If aliens really did attack, Isaac, we would lose. There's just no realistic scenario where you overpower the civilization that somehow came trillions of light years away to where you are.
True, Brian, true.
Which kind of means to me, like, maybe they don't care about the moon. Maybe they really only care about the Earth.
Yeah, I think you may have notated there, pinpointed why this is quite different than an alien civilization attacking. It's not a civilization. There's no fleets, there's no admirals, there's no emperor on a crystal throne. It is a self-replicating life form that at a certain point, maybe after getting enough mass, forms into these moving suits and decides to attack and spread itself even more. I think that's what we're dealing with here. Not so much a coordinated campaign from a civilization, a society, but more of a life form that reproduces, makes copies, and attacks. Almost like a wolf pack that has kind of gone. It's grown so numerous that it's overfeeding and just spreading throughout the forest and more forests.
Feral.
A virus, if you will, Brian. Oh, there you go. They're dealing with an alien virus, and the Helix. Oh, well, it's all coming full circle. There's going to be, of course, the lab scenes.
Oh, absolutely.
Where they're looking at it through a microscope.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's copying and attaching onto different materials.
Yeah.
And at first they were so excited because like, oh, look, it's such a strong material. We can keep growing it. We use it for building space colonies and, this is great. And then, at a certain point, it starts eating everything and spreading and,
Sure.
forming giant suits that decide to wake up and attack and actually have a limited form of consciousness to the extent like an animal does that's just rabid.
Well, I think those names, they don't choose names randomly, right? They mean something. So the one in the show is called Zero, and then the one 100 years later, 90 years later, is called Helix. Yeah. Zero clearly denotes the beginning. Helix is reminiscent of the shape of our DNA, which is like the most complex life that's sort of evolved. So maybe that's an indication of what we're about to see. I don't know.
Tequila Gundam definitely means something.
Hey, that had a meaning for sure.
Yeah.
So kind of on the same note, because it could bring to light some knowledge about the aliens, I'll say, or the apocalypse, I guess we're calling them, to talk about this. I don't know that anyone talked a whole lot about the Rogue Orbit trailer. Full disclosure, listeners, Isaac and I did not go and read like a million comments on this thing. So It's possible that people have said the same thing we are saying here. I don't know. I did not go through and read hundreds of Reddit threads on this. This is just our own musings. But, because I went back and rewatched the Rogue Orbit trailer because, again, before I didn't pay that much attention to it. But now I was like, oh, let me pay more attention since this is going to be a real thing. The guy, Rex, again, his name is written capital RE-X. He's clearly maybe he's the son of Elon Musk or something.
Oh, God.
But do you think that's a very specific way to write your name. Do you think he's a clone or somehow related to Ray? Like, Re is very specific. Typically means like redo or reply to or something. Yeah. Re-X makes me think of, Mega Man X. He could be anything. That's why. So Re-X, it just sounds. And then at the very end of the trailer, Isaac, there was the woman who's talking, presumably his friend who's his operator, for lack of a better word, the woman with, I think she had pink hair at the computer.
Of course she did.
Yeah, it's still, I like how in the future, Isaac, you still need that person at the computer who's just locking it down for you.
AI reached its limits.
Yeah, it just didn't work. She says something very specific. She says, the darkness coming for us, it remembers one man, the pilot. It remembers, Isaac.
Wow.
And it remembers the pilot. That's you, the person.
Brian, you're like a mental sniper because I think you hit it.
I don't know. I think he's clearly somehow related to Ray Azumi. Or, maybe it's just remembering the trauma that this one Gundam pilot gave it, and it has a collective consciousness, and it's just like, I can't have another Gundam. Like, let's beat this guy up.
Just like that mobile armor from that movie we went to go see.
Oh, yes.
Where it had PTSD from fighting the Gundam.
That was awesome.
It's like, it wakes up, it's like, oh, shit, the Gundam.
Not again.
Yeah.
I went to sleep because of that thing, and I wake up, and it's still here.
The first thing I see is the Gundam.
Yeah, from its perspective, like, not a lot of time has passed, and so it must just be ultra pissed.
Oh, my God. I think you hit it on the head, though, because, or at least there's a good chance you did. Because if you remember, at the end of the game trailer, what do we see? The pilot get out of the cockpit, and they purposely don't show his face.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Why? One argument could be, well, they clearly want the player to imagine his face.
Absolutely. Yeah.
However, the other alternative could be there is a reveal that it is none other than Ray Azumi in this multi-pronged, simultaneous media product blitz.
The way they're phrasing it, Isaac, is there could be multiple Gundam pilots. Maybe they're all Ray Azumi.
Oh, oh my
maybe
God.
you're all your own Ray Azumi.
Wow.
That's my bold prediction from knowing nothing about this game or project.
You know what? Helix, right?
Yeah.
That would be so Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, we have our model of soldier, and there's multiples of those manufactured and sent out to do soldier stuff. We have our model of worker. We have our model of Gundam pilot, and he's been engineered to be a very good Gundam pilot. So we manufacture multiple and we send them out. Wow.
And that's not dissimilar to certain concepts that have been in Ghost in the Shell that this director would have worked with before. And those things probably interest him, right? Because
identity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. She could become different things, get different knowledge, That's not entirely dissimilar.
No. Wow. I'm more hyped now.
That might be exciting to him professionally. You know what I mean? Right? Because he's obviously someone of some standing, so he can kind of pick and choose his projects. So, and there was an interview with him where they talked to him and they said, I can't remember if it was in the teaser trailer or if I read it somewhere else, but he said, I was approached to do this thing, and then I got, for lack of a better word, like worried about how was I going to replace the Federation, what was I going to replace Zeon with, what was, like he was kind of doing it like us, like what's going to be my Gundam stand-in type of thing. And then he said something like he backtracked and just said, well, what if I just started from scratch and I thought of something completely different? And I feel like something along these lines would interest him professionally to get involved. And so that's why I'm not too convinced that, come on, Isaac, that you're telling me the director of Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, one of the more, mentally stimulating animes out there, is going to just throw us an alien show in a la Pacific Rim? Yeah. Come on. I don't believe it. I don't buy
it. They sat him down and they said, okay, here's our plan. A group of colonies far from Earth decide to become space fascists. They put together an army of mono-eye mobile suits, and they decide to attack the rest of the humanity. And to defend humanity, they send out a white, blue, red, and yellow hero suit that goes toe-to-toe and fights them, getting progressively stronger until the final battle, where there's a super weapon. What do you think?
He just shut the door.
He got his coat. Yeah, he got his coat and he's leaving. They're like, wait. Why don't you tell us your idea? Then he just puts on his sunglasses, sits it down. It's like, all right. Have you ever heard of an interstellar self-replicating life form that can make giant bioorganic monsters?
I love it.
Yeah. What kind of monsters?
That's exactly how I see it going down.
One of them has to be a giant biomechanical spider, though. Because the spider is the most vicious killer in the animal.
That guy, that producer, what was his name? Whatever, John something.
Who knows?
Turns out he's on the board of Bandai, and he's in the pitch meeting.
He bought his way in. He just got enough shares just to do one Gundam series where there's giant robots spiders.
He buys into anything that's mechanical, that features robots.
The final boss, it has to be a giant spider. Gundam has to fight a giant mechanical spider.
Isaac, so real quick on the pronunciation. So I do think this pronunciation is confusing.
They already lost me.
I don't know what Isaac pronounced it as when I first called him to do this recording, but it was not close to Alex Zero.
No, not Alex Zero.
Well, obviously the narrator says it as Alex Zero in the teaser, in the trailer, in the reveal thing.
Sure.
The ARX, my understanding is, if you look at the Japanese, it says Alex Zero. So whether that's true or not, I don't speak Japanese, but everybody who does online, they seem to be pretty sure of it. And that's how he said it in the trailer, so I'm going to assume that wasn't an accident. So I assume we are supposed to say Alex Zero. But I got to say, Isaac, they could pick a better name. We just had G-Quax, which people still pronounce incorrectly. People still say G-Quax. People still say some people say other derogatory versions of the name.
Oh, like what? Like what, right?
G-Quax.
Give us the Gundam that likes to watch. Activate watch mode.
Just like the eyes get real big. That's where the eyes glow, Isaac.
Oh yeah, use your beam saber.
It feels like you're making the audience really work for that one. And then on top of that, the new Gundam is named Gundam Zero, which, Isaac, we got a lot of Gundam Zeros and O's. Look, right off the bat, we got Wing Gundam Zero.
Right, the OG.
Who really, I know it's called Wing Gundam Zero on the package, but in the shows, they just say Zero. They just say Unit Zero, or they just refer to it as Zero. There's also Gundam 00, which features a Gundam O, a 00 Gundam.
00 Riser?
Yeah, 00 Riser. We have Paptimus's The O. We have a new prequel thing coming out. Isn't it called Seed Freedom Zero?
I think so.
When you're Googling Gundam Zero, you're going to get a lot of things that you don't want if you're trying to look at this show.
It's clearly a fascination within the brand itself to rely on the strength of Zero as a unique number.
Right.
As opposed to calling it 1, I guess. Although this does kind of imply, will we see other Gundams? I'd be surprised if we don't. Will they be numbered?
That's a good question. Yeah, we didn't see any other Gundams. I mean, I hope we would see some more.
I mean, that plastic's not going to sell itself. We're We have to pump out some Gundams the kid's going to want to buy.
They're just expecting you to buy one really big apocalypse dragon. So instead of like 10 little Gundams, they want you to buy the big dragon.
I don't want the dragon, though. I want the mechanical spider. That would be awesome.
But do you think they will have, like, instead of, just suits, do you think they'll sell models of the apocalypse?
I would be surprised if they don't, just because kids kind of like at least some opposition in like the toys and models. At the same time, too, we only saw, to my recollection, a 1/44 scale of the Gundam. So that means it's far easier and cheaper and cost effective to produce 1/44 scales as opposed to anything higher scale, which means it's far easier to produce even the Mook mobile suits, which tend to have somewhat simpler shapes and designs. A Zaku is far more rounder and I think easier to design than, say, a mobile suit Gundam. In this case, though, these animals are also kind of bioorganic-y looking, so I don't know if that impacts the design so much, but yes, we definitely need a few Mooks on the product shelves in order to sell.
Yeah, and I mean, they're going to have to do 1/44th scale for those because they're much larger than the suits. And I mean, could you imagine a master grade Apocalypse Dragon? I mean, it'd be pretty cool, but it'd be pretty pricey and also very, very large.
I don't know. Scale wise, yeah. It's this dragon, any opposition mobile suit as like the villain. For all we know, this isn't actually the villain.
Sure.
It's usually like a 1-to-1 kind of proportion match. This is very different. That dragon looks like it needs to be fought with a team of mobile suits.
Much like the Shuffle Alliance versus the Devil Gundam, huh?
Of course, Brian. What an excellent analogy from my favorite series, G Gundam. I wish I had tequila now.
Oh, that should be our game. Every time we mention G Gundam, Isaac has to take a shot of tequila. But
take a shot of tequila.
He has to do it out of a little shot glass that looks like a sombrero.
Yeah, or like, I don't know. I get like the Gundam, the Tequila Gundam, of course, and then like, well, I guess I would have to kit bash it. I don't think they sell them.
Turn it into a shot glass?
Maybe they do. Yeah, pretty much. Like, it would have to be like sealed, except for like the hat. I can take off the hat. Right. And then, like, that's where I just, drink out of the tequila.
That's pretty amazing. You could somehow make the Tequila Gundam itself, the bottle that holds the tequila, and then you just turn it upside down and pour it.
That'd be awesome.
Why don't they sell that, Sunrise? Come on, Bandai, get it together.
Maybe for our charity stream, or like custom order one or something, and like we'll do like tequila shots on the Tequila Gundam episode.
That would be amazing.
Each time we see Tequila Gundam in the Tequila Gundam episode, or someone says like Tequila Gundam or something, we take a shot.
Oh, that's pretty amazing. I love that. Yeah, we got to write that down. That's now in the bank of Colony Drop ideas.
Yeah. Our growing bank.
Isaac, so we talked about the Gundam Helix design. What did you think about the Gundam Zero?
Yeah. Okay. Zero is, in a way, I kind of want to say clearly a safer design. Right.
Yes.
It's Gundam by the numbers.
Right.
So it's even got the little, shoulder way to stash the beam sabers that really no other suit does. The head, though.
Yeah.
This head is, I assume to an extent, influenced by the Greys, the stereotypical depiction of an alien that has kind of a balloon-shaped head, because this head is a little bit more bulbous, I want to say, than most Gundam designs. It's a thinking Gundam.
Yeah.
It's got big ideas in that big head of it. That's the one thing that stuck out to me. The body's pretty standardized for a Gundam, but man, that head, like in certain angles on the animation, it's a big head.
Yeah, it is. He has his thinking cap on. I think Isaac right now, while I give my thoughts on the Zero, he should go look up Ultraman 2019.
Oh my God.
And if you look at that and then look back at this head, I think you'll understand, like, that's just how this guy likes to do heads. When I first saw this, Isaac, all I saw was like a different version of Gundam Ariel.
Really?
I don't mean that to say that this is worse than Ariel or that Ariel is better than this one. It's just that Ariel is first, right? Like, I've already seen Gundam Ariel, so now when I see this one, I feel like it feels like a mix between Gundam Ariel and Gundam Exia.
Definitely, yeah.
And then I went and saw his Ultraman design, and now I just see Ariel Ultraman. For better or worse, I think this will work for some people. It's a little safe, I think, for me. So it doesn't really do it for me. It's maybe not for me. It's probably for someone who's never seen a Gundam before, and maybe they would love it. I do think what they should do though is I think it looks a lot better with those little arm things on, because that actually gives it some character, and the little backpack with the little flight thing. So like sometimes a lot of the promo shots are just it without the arm things and without the backpack thing. They should always put that in the art, just because it differentiates it a lot from, I think, some of the other Gundams. Although the backpack does look a lot like the aerial backpack, which I'm not sure is a good thing. And then I do feel like it has a lot of room for upgrades. It's pretty basic, right? So I'm sure they're gonna add some stuff onto it. We do see that it gets different color eyes. It clearly bonds with one of these alien things and gets an organic looking arm, which is very Evangelion. There's also, I didn't read up on all these leaks, Isaac, but apparently some of this stuff was leaked a few weeks back and people were wondering if it was real or whatever. And there is like spoilers, if you don't want to hear about this, I guess it could be real. We don't really know. So we just come back in like 2 minutes. But there was like a leak that had a version of the Gundam Zero called full equipment, and it has all these things on its back and like extra binders and stuff.
Oh, wow.
And I gotta say, that one I don't really like either. It just feels like they put a whole bunch of junk on the backpack just sticking up. It reminds me of like the fully equipped Unicorn Gundam in the last episode. But that one looked kind of tactical, so I kind of liked that one. This one just feels like they stuck as many pole-looking things on its back and said go.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what your thoughts are on that one, but I was hoping upgrades would look a little different than that.
It's kind of early days. I'm going to still give them the benefit of the doubt. I fully agree that it was a safe bet designing it like this. Almost too safe, really.
Yeah.
I kind of wish they branched out a bit more in how different it could be. But it does look like it's going to go through drastic change with the arms, like you pointed out. 2 very different arms.
Yeah.
Brian. One even wrapped in Gundam bandages, which I'm not sure they have any benefit to metal, but sure, the engineers would know more than me. And then also a cape, Brian. It gets a cape. I don't know why they give Gundams cape in case the Gundam gets cold, but they have capes now for certain Gundams.
It's so you don't see him, Isaac. You just, it's a giant robot. Don't look over here. You can't see me. I have a cape on.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a cloak cape and it, melds into the environment to let the hordes of Apocalypse pass before it flips over the cape and attacks the lead. What would it be called? It'd be called the Alpha Nexus Apocalypse suit.
Right.
That has to be destroyed. And then when that's destroyed, the local horde is defeated.
Yeah, I could see that. One thing I'm just noticing now on the new Gundam Zero, it's where the normal chest vents would be. They have little lights. The little green lights. It kind of, plus the little part in the middle with the red cockpit hatch and then the dark gray underneath. That kind of looks like a face with a nose and a mouth.
Yeah, that's true.
It reminds me a little bit of Gurren Lagann, and clearly the organic arm seems to be sort of taking over the body because one eye has changed colors and the chest light is different.
Oh, no. It's growing.
And maybe it'll have a monster form or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Or this will be kind of its upgrades. You're going to fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
Use Apocalypse tech against Apocalypse. And, I'm sure there'll be a cockpit crisis situation seen at one point where oh no, my Apocalypse side's taking over my human side. And,
sure.
I can feel it beginning to meld with my flesh.
Right. And maybe that's why they remember the pilot. Because he, bonded with them. Yeah.
Oh my God, Brian! This is like a prediction episode, really.
This is Locutus of Borg for those of you who have watched Star Trek: The Next Generation.
We really dated ourselves there.
It's a great show, but it is a little dated. Isaac, how do you? I have to ask you, how do you feel about some of the Apocalypse looking like a Zeon Mono Eye mobile armor?
I think it looks pretty cool. There wasn't really anywhere else they would take this. Well, they could have done Eyes of Sauron.
Oh yeah,
right.
Sure.
A giant digital reptile eyes, which that would have worked, but I don't know. To keep it still within the Gundam flavor, as different as things are already, but I think it was a safe bet to go with the Gundam eye, just like they did the safe bet with the Gundam colors and the general Gundam silhouette. So I'm very happy to see the mono eyes. They still give me Zoid vibes, and they're not really something I'd want to buy, but it seems to be that there's going to be a whole army of different type of Apocalypse Zoids. So I'm kind of curious which cool ones we'll see and if I'll like them enough to want to get them.
We shall find out. The one thing that I didn't like about the reveal, Isaac, was how quickly they shot us right into the merch reel.
Yeah.
That made it feel a little nickel and dimey to me.
A bit, but I mean, we're all here because of the almighty dollar.
No, you're
in this
right.
case, the almighty yen.
You're right. You're right.
Speaking of merch, Brian, I'm surprised the little interview with the director and the producer. Was it director or was it one of the writers?
I think it was.
Oh, no, it was the suit designer.
It was, I think, well, they had a few. It might have been the director. I don't remember which it was.
Okay. None of them were in like the merch jacket that we now expect all team members to wear if they're going on like a media event.
Give him another year, Isaac, and he will have that huge jacket on, guaranteed.
Where's your Gundam Zero bomber jacket? We need it for the Gundam Alex. You got to be in the merch. The $300 jacket.
Those jackets are intense.
You must really want to rock it when it's cold in Japan.
They do look warm.
How often is it cold in Japan to warrant a jacket?
I mean, I know it gets really cold in the winter, but it also gets really, really hot in the summer.
You're kind of limited, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm looking forward to the show, Isaac. I look forward to all new Gundam things. I think this one has a very talented director behind it, so I'm very excited to see what he can do with it. It's a little odd in that it's not really what I would have wanted, I guess, from a new series. But I'm welcome to be proved wrong. So yeah. I'm game for it, and I'm excited there's a game. The game looks good, because I think you would agree probably that if the game's good, the story kind of sometimes takes a back seat in a video game. You don't necessarily need to pay attention to the story. As long as the game is fun and you get to hit things and you feel like you're piloting a Gundam, I'm all for that. We need better Gundam games, and we need more Gundam games localized in America. So if this is a step in that direction, I'm all for it.
Yeah, new Gundam game-wise, we're in a drought, and we've been in a drought for years. There's just nothing. I'm really hopeful for the game. I hope to play it a lot. I hope it's great. And I hope it's not just only single player. It'd be nice if it was multiplayer or co-op or something. That'd be great.
That format has to lend itself to multiplayer, right? Like co-op? Come on.
A lot of Armored Core games are mainly single player focused, I think.
Oh, really? Oh, man.
Maybe I'm wrong, but they're huge on their campaign and lore and stories. Mm-hmm. So much time and effort is dedicated to the single player experience in Armored Core.
Oh, I want 4-player co-op minimum on this.
To just constantly fight the Dragon Zoid.
Absolutely. That's how we do it here in America.
Count me in if it's on Steam.
All right, Isaac, any further thoughts before we send the listeners off?
Just pure optimism. This is something very new coming out, and I think I speak for all Gundam fans when I say we want it to be great, we want it to be entertaining, we want it to be fun, and shut up and take my money.
Well, there you have it. If anyone can make Isaac like a Zoid, I guess it's going to be this team. So that's what I'm going to look for.
Here we go. Let's go. Suit up.
Well, we trust in you, Kenji Kamiyama. Good luck shepherding the Gundam franchise into a new timeline. So we wish you all the luck. And Isaac, take us away.
All right, listeners, before you go to sleep tonight, stand next to your bed, get on your knees, put your hands together, look up at the ceiling, and hail Ray Azumi and the apocalypse.
Good night, everybody.